So while I'm making my breakfast smoothie, I thought I would talk to you a little bit about what happened after my cubicle epiphany, or more specifically, what I came away with, basic realizations that emerged from that experience. In case you're wondering, I'm making myself a green smoothie. Right now I've got the apple cut up, ready to go. Cut up some carrots, and then I'm going to put in a metric fuck ton of spinach. That's a real unit of measurement, by the way, a metric fuck ton. The first, which I've already mentioned, is that my psychological state, my mental and emotional circumstances were not necessarily connected to external circumstances. And that was a big one. That really forced me to reevaluate what my definitions were. Definitions of happiness, definitions of success, definitions of beauty, truth, goodness, reality. Eventually it came to that. I had to question, what is reality? Because I'd always thought that reality was the external world as I experience it. And if I don't achieve my goals in the external world, I'll never be happy. But then, of course, I didn't achieve any of my goals when I had my cubicle epiphany. I was just sitting there at my desk, minding my own business, working like I do every day. So it really forced me to reevaluate that. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Oh, my little man. I'm making a video. You want to come help me, bud? You look over here. Say, hello. Can you wave? You got a little smile. So the second realization that I had from all of this was that I'm not unique. I mean, I know I'm just an average person. So if I had that experience, that moment of clarity, then I was pretty damn sure other people, either people who are around today or people throughout history, had experienced similar things. So one of my missions after the cubicle epiphany was to seek out others who had similar experiences. And learn more about the experience itself, because it was still very puzzling to me that I could just be sitting there minding my own business and, engaged in sort of deep thinking, but outside of me nothing was happening. And so that something so innocuous as just thinking to myself could trigger such a reaction was mind-boggling. I still wanted to know what it was about and what the epiphany was, the epiphany experience. I'd heard of psychedelics causing similar revelations and similar effects on people, but I'd never heard of anybody just sitting there minding their own business and having that kind of experience. So that was number two. Others must have experienced similar things. Tired, my friend? Are you tired, boy? And last but not least, the third realization that I walked away with was that I know nothing. Literally, I know nothing. Everything I thought I knew before the epiphany turned out to be wrong. What's up, dude? Yeah, spin it. I had a feeling that things were going to change after my epiphany. I had a feeling that there was a lot more to life and to reality and to just, the universe, basically, than I had first anticipated, that I ever been led to believe. So that was an important revelation, to know that basically everything everything that I used to believe might be wrong. That was a big one. Because I was ignorant before, but I didn't know about my ignorance. And that little brief moment of clarity gave me a glimpse at how ignorant I truly was. So that was probably the biggest one, because if I hadn't realized that I didn't know anything, I wouldn't have started questioning all these basic assumptions that I had already taken for granted as a human being. You want me to fire it up? I'm going to fire up the blender for Cy here. Ooh, hello. You're so cute. All right, here we go. You ready? We're going to fire it up. The third realization that I had after my cubicle epiphany was in some ways the most important one. And it was a revelation that I later found out many others throughout history have experienced. I think Socrates probably put it best when he said, "I know that I'm wise because I know that I know nothing." Now, I'm going to stop short of calling myself wise because I'm definitely not that. But the realization that I had after the cubicle epiphany was that I know nothing. I mean, or at least all the things I thought I knew were probably wrong, because if I could experience such a huge shift in my outlook and in my physical and mental and emotional well-being without any changes to my actual material circumstances, you know, I never believed that that was possible. So what else had I been wrong about? What else had I not known about? And it made me sort of assume this mindset of I know nothing. And that was what allowed me to really delve deep into all of these questions that I started asking myself and doing research on, like, what is truth? What is happiness? What is good? What is success? So there you have it. Three insights from my cubicle epiphany. The inner and the outer are not necessarily connected, or at least the inner is independent of the outer. I think that would probably be a better way to put it. Other people must have experienced similar things, so I'm not alone. And number 3, I know nothing. And those 3 insights, or realizations, if you will, are what drove me to continue researching, to continue learning and applying what I was learning to my life, so that when the effects of that epiphany started to fade, I was already developing a daily practice. I was already doing things that were going to help promote and maintain the type of perspective that I gained from that experience. I think that if I hadn't done all those things, and if I wasn't doing them still, I would be shifting back. Because 30 years of conditioning isn't overcome with a single moment of clarity. That moment of clarity is like the door opening. So if you have that experience, or if you've had that experience, don't just carry on with your day and with your life. That's your opportunity to see through your conditioning, to see through your existing patterns that you never saw before because you're too busy swimming inside of them. Take that opportunity, go through the door and see what you find on the other side, and try to always leave that door open so that you can always return to that perspective. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Cyrus is done with this. He's bored. So this bores me. Yeah, bye-bye. Good seeing ya.